Peace, peace. King Messiah here just to drop some quick jewels on you for the day. So as I've been looking at society in 2020, I've come to the conclusion that the Nfac and Grandmaster Jay is picking up where Marcus Garvey left off. Marcus Garvey, undoubtable, basically, it's not even debatable, is the godfather of black liberation in America, in American society. He is the godfather of this black national Pan-African liberation movement to get all of us free and true freedom. So when we look at Marcus Garvey, we often look at his wins, right? We say he had 30,000 people show up at New York for one of his conferences. He had a parade that had 10,000 plus show up in the streets. And we look at all of Marcus Garvey wins. The UNIA had millions of active supporters and followers, right? The UNIA, the Universal Negro Improvement Association, right? But we never look at where did Marcus Garvey have, where was his failures? So when we look at 2020 and we look at 1920, when Marcus Garvey, around 1920, when Marcus Garvey first came onto the scene with the UNIA, we look at the duality. Now, an important part of Marcus Garvey legacy is the part where when Marcus Garvey struck a deal with Liberia, Africa, to have land that was going to be designated to Marcus Garvey solely for the development of the black national movement or the black civilization. So he struck this deal, and this would have been the first time Marcus Garvey stepped foot on Africa. He traveled all the way to Liberia, but was turned down by the government officials of Liberia because they feared that America and France and the world will all go at war with Liberia for supporting their fellow black brother. We'll get back to that later on during this discussion. Now, bringing this back to 2020 with NFAC and the Grandmaster Jay, who in 2020 has the who is preaching, let's go and get our own land in another country to where we can solely develop the black civilization. Not let's go live under the laws of Ghana. Let's go live under the laws of Nigeria. No, let's live under the laws of a civilization that we come and that we develop. And that's Grandmaster Jay. Now, when we look at how history, I sat back and I looked at the nature of this game. When we looked at when Marcus Garvey first did his parade, all the haters came out. All the haters that said this is not good for black people. He gonna get us killed. This is 1920 where black people were still being lynched and black people were still being legally persecuted and legally lynched and murdered. Marcus Garvey, a black man, is in the streets proud with his head up high, his chest poked out, with thousands of other black people saying, I am a free man and you will not treat me and treat mine like you are treating the people in America or you're treating these people. And he raised the bar. He raised the standard of how you should be treated by action, by showing black people that you can be free, that you can organize in the streets. How this goes back to 2020 with the NFAC and Grandmaster Jay. He is showing black people that you can legally be armed in the streets, that you can legally display and show your unity and power, and you can legally come together and not be viewed as a gang, as a mob, as a terrorist group. You still have your rights intact. You'll still have your freedoms intact. And you can do what black people really are scared to do. They say, oh, no, you're going to get us all killed. You're going to put us on a registered list. They're going to have our names and they're going to single us out like they did the Black Panthers and kill us in our homes. OK, so I looked at 2020 and I said, back then, I look at 1920, Marcus Garvey had W.E.B. Du Bois, a great black thinker. W.E.B. Du Bois said, no, I'm for assimilation. And why is he preaching to build up our own civilization in another land and go back to Africa? And no, we need to assimilate. We need to integrate. And he had thousands or millions of black supporters saying, yes, we're rocking with W.E.B. Du Bois. We're not rocking with Marcus Garvey. I look at 2020 and you have your Tariq Nasheed, which is a great thinker, one of our great black minds. And he's saying it's about this foundational black American thing. And you got to hold your own nuts. And, you know, we support people. We support our people in other countries and other islands. But right now it's all about foundational black Americans. And we need to just basically build right here in America, assimilate. He's a 2.0 version of W.E.B. Du Bois, and I'm not insulting him. But what I'm trying to explain is this. When we look at 2020, we look at 1920, the greatest black liberation fighter of our time, of the 21st century, or of the 20th century, Marcus Messiah Garvey. What did he show us? When Haile Selassie, Marcus Messiah Garvey wrote a letter to Haile Selassie, the supreme emperor of Ethiopia. They say this Haile Selassie is in the Bible. He's a biblical, and Marcus Messiah Garvey sent 5,000 African-American troops to Ethiopia to help Haile Selassie fight against Mussolini of Spain when he was invaded. Who do we feel has the capability if Julius Malema was basically needing support and he was being invaded? Who can send him help? Who has the capability? The NFAC, Grandmaster Jay. That is what he built. That is why the NFAC is the most feared, the most hated, the most dangerous organization on the planet. People don't understand. Why would you say that? Because what he has shown he has shown the highest level of organization, the highest level of structure, the highest level of thinking. It's easy for us all to get dressed up in our Sunday's best church dashikis and go to a building and listen to some smart brothers speak. That's easy. I can do that. I can get with my lady and we can both dress up. I can have my son. We can all dress up. We can sit in the chairs, and that's safe. That's safe, right? That's easy. And we can go and listen to some good brothers talk about what we need to do, talk about how we need to be unified, talk about how we need to organize, talk about how we need to buy up all the property and build our own. And then we all go home and we get comfortable in our captivity. We get comfortable in our captivity. That's easy. But what takes bravery, what takes courage, what takes heart is saying, you know what? Let's unify. Let's unify with the protection. Let's bear our arms and practice our Second Amendment rights. And let's get together with the family. And let's be orderly. And let's be respectful. And let's demonstrate our unified act, our unified front. So we look at the correlation. Marcus Messiah Garvey, Grandmaster Jay, the UNIA, the NFAC. How they are so different, but have so many similarities. All the way to the detractors and the haters and the people who are opposing. So we're subjected to these fucked up laws. We're subjected to their cheat codes. Somebody put a cheat code to say you can't learn how to read. You sitting on a bench reading, they kill you, and it's completely legal. Everybody goes by with their day as if it's fine and dandy. Somebody put a cheat code in the game to say, hey, I can blast open your door, a no-knock warrant without announcing myself. If you try to protect yourself, I can kill you. And we all go about our day like everything is normal. That's a cheat code. That's a trap door. You leave that game. I'm not playing no game that got cheat codes and trap doors in it. You completely unplug the game and say, we not doing this. And we go build our own. I'm on my way to law school, but I know that can be all for nothing. I'm just doing that because that's something I want to check off my list. But all the black lawyers that's already lawyers, that's been lawyers for 10, 15, 20 years, y'all can't, we ain't changing no laws? Nah. I'm going to make it that easy for you to just change all the laws of their system? That wouldn't make them very smart. And I give them that credit. When it comes to deception, when it comes to deceit, when it comes to evil, they are one of the smartest. When it comes to deception, corruption, deceit, trapdoors, cheat codes, they are one of the most intelligent. So the moral of this whole vibration today is, look, Stop saying, man, he agent. He gonna get us all killed. Black people are already getting killed at the highest rate. So Grandmaster Jay has not contributed to that. If anything, he has prevented. Oh, he gonna have everybody's name on a list. Your fucking name is already on a list. You're on social media blasting all of your emotions and thoughts and how you feel about this and that before Grandmaster Jay got on the scene. You don't think Tariq Nasheed's on the list? So what other list he gonna get put on? Oh, if Tariq Nasheed now is with Grandmaster Jay, Tariq Nasheed is on a bigger list now. Nigga, Tariq Nasheed, they already ran into your house. They already know that you're the most influential goddamn media mogul in the black community. You already on the highest list. You banned from different countries. Tariq, you are already on the highest list that you can be put on. So what harm will it do if you say, you know what, I'm going to put Grandmaster Jay on my show. I'm going to go on his show and we're going to talk and we're going to figure this out. Because why was you sitting behind Trump clapping? And he said, brother, at one point, I thought all that shit was cool. At one point, I thought America can be reformed. At one point, brother, I thought all lives even mattered. At one point in my life, in my journey. So now I'm disqualified from raising up millions of black people to say, listen, this is our point. This is what we believe in. Because everything Grandmaster Jay speaks, no black man or woman can say it's wrong. He's not telling black men and women to do anything wrong. His actions will tell you who he is. And until he tell black people to do some fucked up shit, then we can classify him as an agent. Black people you're already on the list. Stop being scared. Stop being filled with fear. And the last point is, how is he able to do all this and not be arrested? Grandmaster Jay and the NFAC is playing the highest level of legal jujitsu. They are playing at the highest level of legal jujitsu. What does that mean? You have to know the law. Even in this system of fucking trapdoors and cheat codes, you still have your human rights and your God-given rights and your constitutional rights. And once you practice that, you can move through these cities. You can move, and as long as you're acting accordingly to the law, you're not going to get arrested unless it's an illegal arrest, which is subjected to defending yourself. Just like with Breonna Taylor, they kicked open her door. He defended himself. That's why he's not in jail for attempted murder. He shot at the police because he acted within the law. I said I wasn't going to be long. I just wanted to say that I support Grandmaster Jay. We are suffering from insanity. After Breonna Taylor, all three cops get off and we walking around and we go to work and we say, oh, just a beautiful day in the neighborhood. And it didn't happen to my little niece. It didn't happen to my sister. So, that's just the way of the world. Hey, I'm not practicing insanity with y'all. So you choose your side. You can either choose the side of insanity, or you can say, now I'm about to join the NFAC. I'm going to email Grandmaster Jay and tell him why I want to be a part. And I'm going to help them. I'm going to be one of the million. I'm going to be one of the million. And you can still operate in this Western civilization. You can still go to their schools and learn the knowledge. But you know that you pledge allegiance to the NFAC. You pledge allegiance to the NFAC. And that's more powerful than anything.